Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM20 story, The Head Coach with me, Daniel. It's season 13, episode 6, and it's starting to get a little bit nervy. We've got two big games in two competitions today. At the same time, we'll probably find out how some of our rivals do in the Premier League as the gap is closing pretty rapidly. We're starting to drop points, we're starting to put in poor performances. And our worst fears that we talked about at the start of the season. Would this old team with lots of old legs, experience may they be, would they run out of puff? And it's starting to look that way. So we're trying to rotate, we're trying to get people in, but I don't know that it's having an impact. The last few games have been a real big worry. So hopefully we'll be able to get back on track today. We've got Benfica in the second leg of the Europa League last 16 with a tie on a knife edge following a tough first away leg. And in Bournemouth at home in the quarter-final of the FA Cup in 19th place, a game we really should be winning. Then we've got a run of 3 Premier League games that should be slightly more friendly, ending with a trip to our former club Burnley. But then it gets really tough. So if you're looking forward to this run-in, and you're maybe even here to hope to see us collapse, please do put a thumbs up on the video, subscribe down below for daily FM20 content, and turn that notification bell on to stay up to date. Thank you again to everyone that joined along for the live stream this morning. There is a full replay on the channel if you missed it. And we'll be back the same time next Tuesday at 10 AM in that one. But we've got a lot to get through today. We've got to look at our recent results. We've got to play these 2 games. But first, we've got to look at our youth intake. There were 2 or 3 stars, not really that top level that you're expecting. But we got the message a couple of days ago to say they'd been evaluated. So let's do it from here, as we've only got the standout ones here. So there's 5 with 1-star ability. One of them, the best, has 4-star potential. Then one with 3.5, but don't get too excited. And then a few others that are just going to sit in around the squad just in case they make it. So Tommy Bingham is the pick of the bunch. 1-star ability, 4-star potential. He is a central defender at 16 years of age. Has all the key attributes, probably apart from positioning, and a decent personality. But it's just not my type of centre-half. I don't know that he's going to be a star. He's not great on the ball, but perhaps. He might develop into something special. So we'll keep him in the academy and see how he does. Next is Ben Bowen, 1-star ability again, but 3.5-star potential for the attacking midfielder. He's good on the ball, he's got the key attributes yet again. This time his personality can be moulded, and he likes to curl the ball, but possibly a good pro, probably not a Chelsea player. And then third, with 3-star potential, but apparently the best prospect according to our head of youth development, is Roscoe Dewsbury Hall. So let's have a look at him. A striker who's okay. I mean, he's not the greatest finisher, but everything else suits the advance forward. Physically very good, so he'll definitely make it in the lower leagues regardless. And the same star potential for John Williams, another striker who can't really finish. And finally, of the ones we're keeping, a goalkeeper with 2.5-star potential. Definitely solid and pretty balanced across the board, so I'd imagine he's going to be a good lower league, maybe National League keeper. But he's probably not going to ever make it near the Chelsea team. But a decent youth intake, a few people to keep an eye on. But obviously this season, probably more than any, we've got more important things to be looking at. So if we have a look at the schedule for our recent results, you were last with me for that 1-1 draw away at Leeds in the Premier League. And the rest of February after the transfer window went absolutely perfectly. A 4-1 win away at Aston Villa, Mila with a brace, Vinagre and Fathi with the goals. A 2-1 win at home to Bournemouth, our second opponents today. Gross and Angerin got the goals on that occasion. And a 4-0 win at home to Norwich, Al Jahani, Gross, Fathi and Yepes with the goals. Into March, a 2-1 win away at Bristol City in the FA Cup. The only first teamer we kept in the 11, the only first 11 player. And it was Faustino Angerin who dug us out of a big hole. But we did have to bring 3 of the big hitters off the bench. Away at Tottenham in the Premier League, it all started to unravel. A 4-0 defeat, 3 second-half goals when we were looking like getting back into it. And that was the moment I started to really get concerned. And my concerns have not been allayed since. Away at Benfica, we conceded a late equaliser after Zenit Gross put us ahead. I wanted to go out with the first team, get a victory and then rest some today. That wasn't to be. And as a result, we had tired legs late on against Leicester. And you can see Luis Antonio off the bench scored a cracker and we thought he'd won it. But unfortunately, a goal a minute either side and Leicester were unlucky not to win in the end. So into today's game, we've got a few slightly tired legs. We've had to rotate a little. We've still not got Serrano back from that injury in the last episode. And there's a lot of food for thought, both in these competitions and in a Premier League title race. Just 5 points in it, Manchester City have still got a home game against us. We've still got to play the likes of Liverpool, who are having a poor season, but a good side overall, and Everton away, who are 5th. So there's more difficulty to come. But let's go and get into the first of today's game. Let me know how you think we're going to get on as we go at home to Benfica. They're flying domestically. We're obviously not in the greatest of form, and we have had to rotate slightly. So the fullbacks have been changed. Ortega and Mazzino coming in. We've been doing that for the Europa League in recent weeks. And then we've got Luis Antonio in as the number 10. Angerin dropping to midfield and Yepes dropping out. And to be fair, they're probably, in terms of star rating and attributes, our best two in those positions. And Luis Antonio, after the weekend, has to start this game. So that's our 11 for today. It's DJ Akobe in goal. Mazzino and Ortega the fullbacks, with Abdullah alongside Al Jahani. I'm actually tempted to take Abdullah out as well for Henderson. Should we do that? So Henderson in alongside Al Jahani now. It's Harper and Angerin in the middle. Mendes, Antonio and Fathi the attacking midfield 3. And Zenet Gross on his own up front. Let's get into this tie. We need to win this match and we need to get through to the quarters. If we get all the way to the semis, we could potentially be facing our last club Gladbach. So there may well be a big reunion on the cards yet. But it's a 4-3-3 for Benfica. Look who's on the left wing, Mason Mount. At left back, Ben Chilwell, heavily linked with Chelsea too. Ayer at centre half, the Celtic youngster. There's a decent team there. We can see why they're doing well. So we're going to get the lads to prove a point. And we need a big performance in this first half. The tunnel interview is just asking about picking Luke Henderson. Hopefully we won't come back to regret it. 15 minutes on the clock, Mazzino with a throw on the right and Mendes picks it up. He's got a chance to take on the fullback. It was a brilliant second man run. Mendes to the byline, Fathi in the middle and heads in brilliantly. He's missed a sea of chances from those positions this year, but he has made no mistake there. Fathi heads in and with 15 gone we've got the lead. In the grand scheme of the tie, doesn't make a huge difference. We still need a second if we're to avoid the effect of the away goal. Here's Fathi as he gets the ball into Harper. The holding midfielder back into Henderson and Harper gets it alongside to Al Jahani. Out to right hand side to Mazzino. He's done really well so far and he's got acres of space to run into. Mazzino to the edge, back to Harper. 30 yards out to Angerin. Harper again, back to Angerin, keeping it well. Lovely switch to Fathi and now Ortega. On the left byline, chance to cross. To Mendes who heads just over. Onto the roof of the net, but it was from too far out to be of trouble. And it's still 1-0, but Chelsea on top here. It's a Mason Mount free kick for Benfica. Henderson does really well to head away and he's trying to chase the second ball as well. Gets there, wins the challenge. If he can clear it down the line, we've got a one-on-one situation. It's Gross who picks it up. The fullback's with him, but he's cut inside and he's dropped off and Gross goes alone. It's a brilliant save by Wilson and it's a corner kick Chelsea. Probably could have wrapped the tie up there. We would have expected better. But it's Luis Antonio to take it. Into the front post. Drops down, both men missed it. And in the end, it finds its way all the way out to the Benfica striker. We've got 4 or 5 bodies around it, but Mount brings it out and the highlight ends. With half an hour gone, there's still that little threat on the break, but Chelsea looking very good. As Ortega throws into Harper. Can he turn it into a 1-2? He can't. He's mugged in possession there. Harper has to do better. Reina picks it up. Into Sanabria. Back to Fabra. Long ball out, but Mazzino intercepts. Really good play. Into Harper again. Wants to do better in possession this time, and he does. It's a great ball through. Luis Antonio 1-on-1. Oh, just wide of the post. He had to make that count. And it's still 1-0 with 10 to half time. Corner kick to Mendes into 1 minute of stoppage time in the first half, and that is the perfect time to double the lead. Zenet Gross probably puts us through to the quarter final there. A brilliant header by the centre forward, and it is Chelsea 2, Benfica 0 at half time. They are yet to have a shot on target and we have been utterly dominant. And if we can get a third, we can then start to rest people. And I've just noticed, hang on a minute, we were talking about a potential reunion with Gladbach. They are 3-0 down against Aberdeen, having led 2-0 in the first leg. Aberdeen absolutely flying in both saves this year. But we've got the ball on the left with Harper. Back to Fathi. Good effort that is, just over the bar. But surprises on the cards elsewhere. Thankfully, we don't look like we're going to be one of them. And it's a corner kick with Antonio again. In-swinger towards Fathi. Headed away as far as Henderson, who recycles it to Antonio. Oh, out to Harper on the right. Hit it on the volley. It's a great effort, but just over the bar. And it's still 2-0 here. Borussia Mönchengladbach have got their away goal. And it's starting to get tense in both of those ties. And on the left-hand side, it's Ortega with a throw-in again, as we're putting relentless pressure on our visitors. Ortega picks it up. He's got a chance to get to the byline. Obviously, he's leaving in the summer, but he's delivering there, and he's headed away. And this is where we're always threatened. Against the counter-attack at speed, but Anjorin does so well. You've got to give him praise. And it's back to DJ Akobe in goal. The back four have spread, so he can play short. Al Jahani. Out to the right wing to Mendes. Takes on his fullback, beats him really easily. And he's into the box alone here. Mendes shoots and Wilson saves. That third could have enabled the substitutes. But it's just not to be. That we've got another chance with Mendes. Across from a free kick on the right. Zenet Gross heads in. 3 headers and his 20th goal of the season. And it is Chelsea 3, Benfica 0. And surely that is tie over. Let's go and make some changes. Harper is the main one. We need to get him a rest with Artur coming on. We know physically he's got nothing left in the tank, the Brazilian, but he is so good in this sort of situation. 20 minutes on the pitch, keep the ball, get in the right positions, that's what we're looking for. A centre-half, Al Jahani could do with a rest, but there's probably those who need it more. Fathi on the left wing can be replaced by Rashford, and then on the right we're going to replace Mendes, or do we replace Anjorin? I think maybe Anjorin in midfield. If we bring Yepes on for him, then those 3 can play at the weekend. 25 minutes to go. Let's just make sure nothing silly happens, as Mazzino's got the ball at right back. Still yet to make the changes. Out to Mendes on the right, who's provided assists for all 3 of the goals. Back to Gross, now Harper. Out to Mazzino. Mendes overlapping him again. To the byline. He's got a chance to cut back, but he's challenged and it's out for a corner. Really good defending. And it should be the last contribution for some of those guys. 3-0 with 20 remaining, and the 3 substitutes are on. 5 minutes to go. Gladbach dream is still on. They look like they're going through on away goals as it stands. Oh no, they're not. Aberdeen have just scored 2 quick-fire goals. They've won 6-2. We've won 3-0, got completely distracted. Luis Antonio picked up a knock late on. Unfortunately, we'd already made our changes. But a comfortable 3-0 win and Chelsea back in form. Now it's ahead to the FA Cup quarter-final. Can we stay in 2 competitions in the very latter stages? FA Cup quarter-final time. A couple of failed fitness tests. Luis Antonio has not recovered from the injury on Thursday night. Emiliano Serrano has not yet recovered from his torn hamstring. And last night, Achraf Hakimi, he picked up a hernia. So we are a few players down now at the moment. It is not looking good, but we have got an FA Cup quarter-final to come. Tottenham are playing Charlton in the other one. The 2 Manchester clubs chasing us in the Premier League, both through to the semis already. The experienced Kieran Tierney now out cup-tied for Bournemouth and a couple of injuries too. But we're missing 3 first 18 players, so we need to make some changes. We're not going to change the goalkeeper today. I'm not worried about Perez, to be honest. So DJ Akobe will start. We'll bring Abdullah back in at centre-half. We'll change the full-backs back, or the left-back, because we can't do anything with the right-back. What else can we do in here? We've got Yepes to come back in for Antonio. And everyone else is just about fit. So as tempted as I was to perhaps play Mila or someone along those lines, I'm going to stick with this. Perez on the bench, so we've got a sub-keeper. But otherwise, I think we're as strong as we can be. So it's DJ Akobe in goal, Mazzino and Vinagre the fullbacks, with Abdullah and Al Jahani centre-half, Yepes and Harper in midfield, Mendes, Anjorin and Fathi the attacking midfield 3, and Zenet Gross up front. You'd like to hope this team will be strong enough, but let's find out if it works on the pitch. It's a 4-2-3-1 for our visitors who have matched us up. On the right wing, they've got Bukayo Saka. In number 10 role, they've got Taylor Pickering. 10 goals and 13 assists this year. Marked as their key player, earning more than most of ours, and got 4 England caps as well. And considering they're 19th in the league, that's not a bad player and a bad wage bill to be playing. I think they had Reece James on the bench as well. I just saw our James and I presumed. So we'll go and have a look at that in a moment as well. But into the first half we go. Bournemouth straight with a kick-off from a highlight. And Gonçalves gets it to the left-back Carlos. Out to Ruiz. The last thing we want to do is concede early and allow the defensive performance from a lower side in the league. So it's Carlos at left-back. Back to Gonçalves. Completely mincing my words, but Carlos keeping it. And we need to poach this, and Mendes does. And what a start this could be. Into the box. He's got Gross with him, and it's a great save from Klassen down to his right. Fantastic goalkeeping by the Bournemouth number 1. Let's have a quick look at the player ratings. Bear with me, I'm going to watch the corner as Mendes into Gross, who heads wide. Not quite as successful as Thursday night. So on the bench, Reece James. It is Reece James. But out to the back again. It's Vinagre to Abdullah. Here's Al Jahani, back to his goalkeeper, a bit of a bizarre choice of pass there. Kobe plays out again though, finds Abdullah and now Vinagre. Had his rest on Thursday and he's looking fresh early on, overlapping on the left, but Fatty goes back to his centre half. Al Jahani in the centre circle to Yepes, another one who got a rest on Thursday night. To Mendes, Yepes again, good ball to Fatty, he's 1-on-1, and he had to do better than that. Klassen holds it, it was such a tame effort. But the early signs are encouraging, despite the fact we haven't scored, it is all Chelsea so far. Tottenham look like they're going through as well, so it could be the Premier League top four going head to head in the FA Cup semi-finals. But we're the only ones letting the side down at the moment. Half an hour gone nearly, lots of chances, no shots on goal. And now we've got an absolute disaster. Mazzino, the right back, is injured. Hakimi is already injured. Serrano is injured, which means Luke Henderson will come on at right back. He is the only man left in the squad who can play there, bar Christensen, who's about 40. It's Mendes the outswinging delivery. Into the front post, Phillips heads away. Al Jahani back to Mendes again, gets a second chance, has to be a foul, referee. Tripped him, he tried to stay on his feet, but you can't punish him for that. It's a penalty kick and Ansu Fati will take it. Oh, did he not miss one in a shootout a while back? Fati steps up, puts it the keeper the wrong way. Brilliant effort down to his right, and it is 1-0 Chelsea and we are on top. It deservedly is the first goal of the game for us, and we've just got to hang on for a victory now. Half time, 1-0 to Chelsea, an utter dominance if we're being honest. We're going to encourage the lads, they're doing alright. Harper struggling physically, not having the best game, but again, Artur for a 15-20 minute cameo is always the best option. But I'd like to have a second in the bank then. As Mendes comes down the right, challenge finds Yepes. Into Fathy on the wing, who scored that goal from the spot, and he goes again, but it's straight at Klassen. And again, aside from the penalty, he's not been clinical at all. As Klassen clears it long downfield, towards Phillips the striker, who brings it down well by the way. He's got two up with him, one's Pickering. It's a great save by Kobe. A really good effort for the number 10, and a brilliant save by the Italian. 10 minutes gone in the second half, and the first scare of the match there. And Bournemouth have now had 2 shots on target in quick succession. So we're going to demand a bit more. I'm not sure what changes we can make with 20 minutes left. We've only got 2 left, don't forget, so who do we take off? I think Gross will drop in and we'll put Mila up front, that extra pace in behind. And Harper's really struggled, so Artur for him. And they're the 2 changes we're sticking with. 15 left, it's still Chelsea 1, Bournemouth 0. And we've got a goal kick with Kobe, who's playing out from the back with Abdullah. He's got Al Jahani with him, just plays short. Midfield options, but goes wide to Henderson, the makeshift right back. 2 up with him, but goes back into central defence again. Here's Al Jahani. Henderson plays a 1-2. There's a couple of midfielders there, but they go all the way back to the goalkeeper. And it's another one of these slow tempo played out moves from the back. Henderson at right back eventually gets it for a third time. Takes on his fullback, beats him really well. He's going to go all the way to the byline here. Space to run into the box. Great ball in, beats everyone. Fatty back to Vinagre. His shot save, finds Mendes. On the right hand side of the box is offside. The flag was late up, but the whistle does go. And another good chance goes. A throw on the left-hand side. 5 minutes left. Can we get that second? We just need to wrap it up. Artur the sub into Yepes. Loses out in the air and Pickering flicks on. Al Jahani does really well to get there first. Artur to the left to Fathy. On the byline. Chance to cross. Finds Mendes. Oh, it's an own goal. Henrique heads it into his own net. It's an awful header. What on earth was he doing? There was no real pressure on him. Mendes was behind, but he could have brought it down and cleared it. But I'm not going to complain. It's Chelsea 2, Bournemouth 0. And with 3 minutes of stoppage time played, we are through to the FA Cup semi-final. After a big wobble in the last few games, this episode has been a return to form. And we are through to the semi-final to face one of the big 4. We'll be back in a moment to find out who we get in the FA Cup semi-final. So here we go then. The semi-final draw will take place now. Tottenham arguably the easiest opponents based on being 4th in the Premier League, but based on our recent performance against them, I'd like to avoid them in truth. So let's see how we get on. Manchester United first out the hat, and it is Chelsea. It's Man United Chelsea, and that means Manchester City v Tottenham. Let's be honest, at this stage it's anyone's game. But Manchester United, if you remember, the side that put us out of the Carabao Cup on penalties, and we don't need a repeat of that. We need to get a victory. So many big games coming up. I mean, there's a triple header there that we could potentially show. Valencia at home, United in the FA Cup semi-final, and then Manchester City in the Premier League. So the next episode, we'll try and play all 3 of those. If it doesn't work out, we'll just do 2 and then come back for the 3rd. But they're going to be the decisive game in every competition. So unless the Premier League really changes hands by then, we'll show all 3. But that's going to be the next episode. If you enjoyed this one and a return to form and staying in the hunt for a treble, please do put a thumbs up on the video. Let me know down in the comments what you thought of the performances. We've got an Octomazino, which is 3 to 4 weeks, so without a first team right back now. If Serrano's fit, he can come in for the home games, and then perhaps Luke Henderson on the road. I don't know, it's not ideal. If you are looking forward to this grandstand finish to the season and you don't want to miss any of the action, please subscribe down below and turn that notification bell on. You'll get alerts as content releases on the channel as well as whenever we go live. And we've got a new FM20 save starting a week on Sunday to replace our Cricket 19 career. So please do keep your eyes peeled for that one, and I'd love it if you're able to pop along. Finally, please do check out the podcast channel in the eye above. There's plenty of content there. Matchday vlogs when we used to go to football, but also interviews, predictions, loads of topical podcasts too. And it's been growing rapidly in the last couple of months, so thank you so much for your support. But thanks again for watching this one and your continued support with the series. I really do appreciate it. And I hope to see you again on Thursday for potentially 3 massive games. 3 competitions, 3 fixtures. And they're going to decide whether this first season is a success or not. I hope to see you there.